We are here at the Paracon. We have to walk around the building to get to the Paracon entrance. But we're gonna go inside, check out some of the vendors, some of the speakers. And yeah, we are here. Look, there's Nero.
Hey, I'm here.
There's Aniki and Jackson.
I will go live, but this is a prison, no network connection. Right.
Lady Swan up ahead of us, leading the way.
Yeah, looks like this
All
is gonna be
right,
an
let's go inside, shall we? Here we are at Paracon, hanging out with Steve Hummel from Paranormal.
Hey, what's up?
Paranormal Quest, right? Yeah, Paranormal Quest. And behind us, I don't know if you can see him, that is Tennessee Red Chasers. We're gonna go say hi. Oh, you're live now. You gotta go re-interview everybody.
I gotta re-interview everybody.
He's gotta re-interview everybody.
So we gotta go back around.
Everybody.
And how much time we got before the tour?
I don't know. We came in here at 2 o'clock, and I think we blew through most of the stands in like less than an hour.
Well, I gotta go back door.
Go who? What?
I gotta go back door and re-interview everybody.
Well, man.
I gotta say hi to them. Oh, hello.
You don't even know his name, man. That's Mike.
I know who Mike is.
Okay.
I'm Mike. I'm the real Mike.
That's Mike. Look, his name is Mike.
Yeah, I see it. That's Dunk.
Nero.
That's Donkey.
It's crazy. That's crazy. Ghost hunt in America's most haunted location. Journeys into supernatural.
I can't sleep one. But I'm listening. Oh, you go right ahead. How you doing? How you doing, bro?
He's live. I'm filming.
Yeah. My name is Nero. I'm also on YouTube.
If you're watching, why aren't you here? We're having a good time. We're here till what? 8 o'clock. Then we're going to investigate till 4 a.m.
And then we're going to be locked in.
Yeah,
We're locking us
We're
in.
gonna be locked in.
We're going to be live.
I'm gonna be locked in with Raph, man. I'm gonna be locked in with Raph Chasers.
Get you
Can you see me? Are we good? That's good. Got my good side, sexy side.
Oh, wait, this side or this side?
Hey.
Are we doing a photo or are we video?
No, I'm doing a video.
I'm streaming live right now with 7 people
right
watching
on.
right now, but it'll grow soon. People coming in and out. Got Ghost Mafia. Ghost Mafia, get in here. This ain't legit without is Ghost in here?
There we go.
You get in here too. It's enough room.
Give me your phone.
It's enough room. Hey, so we
Come
got.
check out Ghost Mafia on YouTube.
Check out Ghost Mafia on YouTube.
Don't forget about him. So check out Nero Trigger on YouTube. Best gamer in the world.
Don't worry about Nero. Just get over to Ghost Mafia's channel. That's all
Yeah,
you need to know.
get over to Ghost too, but you know, me too. I'm live.
We're live
So
over here.
subscribe to my channel. That's
Nero, I love you, but you have 6 viewers. If I were to go live, I'd have.
but go in. Hey, we can.
Man, but we got six solid viewers.
Six solid viewers.
Oh man, once people see this video, the rewatch is gonna be golden. Trust me.
Yeah.
Look, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, I know.
You can't be big like
see?
the rest of
But
us.
see, I'm not a paranormal investigator. You guys are. I'm just a gamer, so. But once people, you know,
You got to get a little bit more weighty in on you.
look at that gut. Look at that gut.
You're almost Mafia material.
That's right, almost.
Almost.
You're like an underling.
Almost. Hey, you know, like you said, got to start somewhere. Got 7 viewers now.
7. All right.
Yeah,
Welcome aboard, whoever you are.
Yeah, gotta be Hope.
Where Dodge take off to?
Who's the guy in the middle?
I think he went
that's
over. He
Mike
should
from
be
Brad.
back.
That's Mike from Brad. That's Boomer Rock. Oh my gosh.
Well, if you shake this man's hand, you die.
This man's hand?
Artie gets all the way down there.
That's the legend anyway.
There you go. I fear not death. So, look, I just shook the hand of death. If you shake this man's hand, you'll die. Watch this. I mean, for death, you know, he's kind of got a small hand. I mean, look at this. Look at
We have biggest Oh my God. Jesus. That's death grip.
Death grip.
this. All right, guys, live from the West Virginia State Penitentiary, Paracon, Ghost Mafia. We'll be back with you in just a little bit. Okay, guys, we are still here at the Paracon at the West Virginia State Penitentiary, and One of our friends, Jason from Paranormal Quest, is actually doing the tour. We're going to be showing you a little bit of the penitentiary, get a little history on it for you. And here we go.
In over 15 years. First stop, major stop we'll make is protective custody cell block, which hasn't been open in 15 years or so. After that, we'll be getting ready to go into the Sugar Shack, and the way that we'll take to get into Sugar Shack is the original inmate entrance. So I just want to stress to y'all how awesome of an opportunity this is. Y'all get to witness this. We rarely, those of us who work here, even get a chance to see these areas ourselves. So I'm having a little bit of a moment myself. This is kind of cool for even me. So this is really, really a rare opportunity that y'all get to have. This is awesome that we get to do this today for you all. So the prison itself opened in 1866. It stayed open for 129 years. This was West Virginia's only maximum security prison until March 27th of 1995. When they closed down, they had around 650 of the state's most violent inmates here. Now, most people think a dangerous prison is someplace like Alcatraz or somewhere similar. To put this into perspective for y'all today, Alcatraz was open for 36 years. Well, they had 28 documented deaths of inmates. Whereas this prison in 129 years had 998 documented deaths. Now, the undocumented deaths we can only estimate to be at least 300 to 400 plus. Well, at one point in time, the Department of Justice ranked the prison on their top 10 list of the most violent correctional facilities in the country. This was number 2 in the United States, and number 1 on that list was Leavenworth Federal Penitentiary in Kansas. So we're going to get ready to work our way into the main corridor of the penitentiary, what we call Main Street. We'll take that down towards protective custody. I'll stop us before we go in and tell you just a little more about it before we see the cells. Bits and pieces, and it's been a while.
We're soon on August 16th through the 18th, we're having the 25th anniversary of the movie.
That's when they're having a reunion, everyone's coming back. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy because no one ever gets to see this. I mean, that's why it's really pretty untouched. I mean, you know, everything for the most part looks very similar to how it did when it closed, you know. Yeah.
That was kind of nice.
They do some. They done some in here in May. Yeah. In fact, there was little. It's on the other side. There's holes in the fence where they were sticking the rubber rounds through the balls and all that.
Well, there's still shanks in here too.
You know, I guarantee you. In fact, we're still finding them. I mean, I've actually found 4 shanks in the prison myself.
Wow.
Really?
Like my coworkers, yeah, they'll call me the bloodhound because they always get jealous. Like, how do you find all the shanks? I'm like, I'm just, you know, if you put yourself in that position, you think, where would I hide it? You know, and it's like,
Oh man.
yeah.
Look how small these cells are. Imagine spending a life on one of these.
Get in there.
Now, back in the 20s and 30s, they were really overcrowded. And these cells used to have 3 inch in the 20s and 30s.
You know, something.
2 bunks and mattresses.
Is it a toilet flush?
I was gonna say, wouldn't recommend.
Nero's leaving a float.
Whose cell was this?
That's the number 1 cell.
Number 1?
You number 1. See?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And there's number 2 right next to you.
I don't want to be in this.
I gotta get my mirror. Hey, folks.
Yeah, parent, take your place.
Okay. Had enough of jail. Had enough of jail. All right, go your turn. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, you can. It ain't gonna move on you, Bubba.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now some of these doors will slam, and if they do, they will lock. I was gonna say. We actually had a guy get locked in here for real last year, and we had to, it took him 3 hours to get out.
Seriously?
No, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, because the doors, some of them aren't working, and then the track, the hydraulic is just, yeah, it'll do, yeah. All right, so we are now on our block. A lot of the guys in here, well, first I should tell you they had 2 really bad riots during the prison's history. One in March of 1973, the other, the most violent, was January 1986. It's more infamously and popularly known as the New Year's Day riot of 1986. Now, after that riot, a lot of the guys involved in the riot ended up here in protective custody because afterwards, they started telling on all their other inmate buddies about all the things that they were involved in here during the riot, like the kidnappings, the stabbings, the burglaries, the robberies that they were committing inside the penitentiary during the takeover. Didn't get them too well liked, so that's a little bit ironic. You think after the riot, most of the hostage takers and the rioters themselves were actually housed in here. These guys, they were still just as violent as segregated inmates. These guys were more scared. It sounds a little simple, sounds a little cliche to sound that, but that's literally basically a pretty accurate synopsis of the kind of people that would have been in here. Of course, it was a very stressful life in a place like this. Inmates in protective custody had extra concern and stress on their mind because they knew that if something went wrong and other inmates had access to these cells, that they would come in here and do some pretty bad things to them. So the stress level in here was through the roof. A lot of the guys handled it in their own way. Some of the guys resorted to cutting and self-mutilation. They would end up here, then they would eventually end up in the psych ward, up in medical. We'll be up there in a little while. They had one inmate in particular, I'll tell you a real quick story. His name was John. He was here in protective custody, and he loved to cut himself, and he loved to watch other people's reactions to his injuries he would inflict, usually an officer. Well, one day he had a razor blade. What he liked to do, though, is he would actually cut the bend of his arm, and then he would actually fold his arm up to hold the blood in. He would look around for someone. Then when he'd seen someone, an officer, he would say, "Hey, check this out." Then he'd unfold his arm real fast and show the arterial blood spray. And he got to where, he was down in the middle, he got to where he could shoot it probably 12 to 15 feet out of his cell door, and it would bounce off the shower wall. He looked at the officers, "Oh, you think I got a good one today?" They'd say, "Yeah, you got a good one, John. You think I'm going to medical?" "Yeah, you're going to medical." So, gives you a little idea of the mentality of the people that would have been in here. Again, you're more than welcome to take a look in these cells as we go along. We'll begin to wrap around on P block, take a look at those cells again, and then after that, we'll get ready to work our way down to the basement where it feels much nicer, into the sugar shack.
Yeah, that's what's funny about the GDC cells. We call them PC whores.
Really?
Yeah, they'll run them out. They'll run the door.
Things change a little bit.
Bang on the door, open the door up.
Man, I'd kill myself if I had to.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I would never.
seems like the bean holes in here are different from North Hall, where North Hall it was like a little square. These, I mean, there are square, but it's just the bars, you know, so.
They food points.
Exactly. Yeah, they slide the, mostly all plastic trays and cups, slide it through to them, and yeah, it's crazy. Actually, if you look up on the second floor, I think you have to get near the drain. But do watch your step along the wall. There's a drain here. So if you look up on the third tier, so you see that gate right there. It's standing open. But yeah, so from that gate down that direction, now this sounds weird, but that was PC within PC. That's how bad it got in here. Like they had to have inmates having protective custody status away from the protective custody inmates. So things got a little bit ridiculous in here with the PC status, and eventually they just said, look, you know, either you start behaving right, or you're just going to be all lumped together. So 23 hours a day, 23 and 1, yeah. Lockdown. Sure enough. My boss get down there and he decapitates me, and I'm like, I'm probably going to get decapitated anyway right now.
Are those cells solitary confinement?
Along the hallway here?
Yeah.
You know, Steve and Dave is gonna harass the hell out of you later.
Oh, no, I never lived this down, trust me. This was like industry rooms, storage rooms. Some of them were trade classrooms. Now, I've heard rumors over the years, I don't know how much credence there is to it, but I have heard rumors that for a little while they had a room off this hallway that they used to shackle inmates to the walls, kind of similar to the way they done the hall. So, but, excuse me, I'm sorry.
I was just trying to make room for everybody to get up here. It's allergies.
Oh, you all right?
Yeah. The other couple had to leave because of, yeah.
I'm
Yes.
used to it though. I've been investigating for 7 years, so.
Oh, have you? Awesome.
I was gonna say, it's a rough time of year to have the allergies too. It's extra hard with the.
Yeah.
All of this ain't shorty. I didn't see you there. You're
That's
so
like
short.
I was saying something about how hot it was. I had family from Louisiana. I said, oh, I better stop buzzing because I seem like a lightweight now. I'm like, you know.
Did you just come up or? I didn't know if you
All
had
right, you
family in
almost
the
have
area.
everybody
where
up here.
white flag or something. Wow.
Bucket list.
I live here. But I've never done the overnight before, so that's.
Yeah, I am too.
With night vision.
All right, so the hallway that we're in, this is the entrance that the inmates use to get into the Sugar Shack. Over the years, some of my coworkers and I, we come down here and spend some time. We've had some interesting experiences in here. Usually, though, it's a sense of like a presence. Usually, it's so strong, it can be very palpable. At times, it seems very malevolent. Now, we don't know of anything specific that happened in here. Over the years, I have heard rumors that for a while, one of these rooms off the hallway actually used to, they would put inmates into and shackle them to the walls along this hallway. Now that, I don't know 100% to confirm that. That could be a possible explanation to why it feels so negative. See what you all think about this. It's kind of an unusual hallway, but again, this is a part literally no one's ever been in. None of the TV shows that's been here has ever even seen this hallway, so again, pretty awesome opportunity. We'll get ready to go into the Sugar Shack and tell you just a little bit about it once we get in there. All right. Really bad. It hadn't even been this bad, you know. And it's like out of nowhere.
This is gonna be fun tonight. I'm gonna come back here with my tablet though, so I can.
Shadow of the Mothman on the
That
wall.
camera still operational?
MTV did that.
Like around the
They were in here filming here, MTV did that.
Yeah, they were the first television place to be in here.
Back in here.
Wow. Yeah, that would make me just
Oh,
They vandalized them.
well, that don't surprise me.
A lot of it was
no
done
way I
by
could
the
have
fire department when they were putting
I'd
in
like
the
to think
haunted
I could-
houses down here too, around the time.
Once
They were doing haunted houses in here before they were doing tours.
MTV filmed here in, I think it was 1991.
Yeah.
They did MTV Sphere.
Oh, 2000 or 2000?
Or was it 1991? Something early 90s or 90s?
It was
Probably late
late
90s, I
it
would
was
say.
late
After
It
90s.
didn't close until, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, 19. It would have been
95.
Would have been 95 or 96, right after the flood.
But MTV's not allowed to film here anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, which, you know, it's like, I always tell people how inconsiderate that was if they had to just,
Trash.
yeah, all over state property. It's
Yeah.
not just state property, but it's history, you know. I mean, fortunate they didn't come up and
This is Cougar. So was this the Cougars like clubhouse?
You can say that. Never thought about it like that. Yeah,
Stand beside each
Can I get ready for the
other.
game or something?
you know, it makes sense because it's proximity to the yard. It'd be handy. I never really thought about it like that. But,
Be like their locker room.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, okay, we're still getting them in here.
You say you got a couple nephews that.
Yeah, my cousins are correction officers out at the Northern Regional. Their dad used to be a guard here.
Is this the first time
He
you've
was
been to
guard
this
here
one?
during the riots.
Oh, has it? Back in the day, trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Most of the inmates that got transferred here.
Tell us about this area or any other area at any time. Any of the more gruesome stuff, catch up with me anytime. Be more than happy to enlighten you. This is a very active area in the prison. It's a hot spot. During the fall, we have part of our haunted house in here. That's why we got a lot of haunted house props over here. We just push it over instead of taking it all out. A lot of the actors work in here in the fall. They'll see shadows moving through the fog. They'll get in a position, think that someone's about to come through. They got to get ready to scare them. Turns out no one's there. So we have a hard time keeping actors in the Sugar Shack during October. So if y'all think you can do it, just give us a call. 'Cause we're always looking for help. So, do y'all have any questions so far?
What was the worst thing that happened in here, the most violent?
I tell you what. I'll tell you about that. Let's wait until we're out on the yard because
Okay.
it's a little hoarse.
Okay. You don't want to.
I'd rather not verbalize it out loud.
Right.
Yeah, just catch up with me in just a moment outside.
Yes.
We'll make a whole lot of money.
We're going to the chapel.
They go to weight benches for us and stuff.
You notice we're in the inner courtyard. There's no other building here.
Imagine taking the shit out.
Yep. Hello, this one. How you doing?
Hot.
Is it hot? You look like you're hot. Look at the sweat. Sweaty. Look at Nero.
Yeah,
Sun just glistening off that dome. Look at that.
it's all right. I could take it.
Monica and them over there, they got their water bottles with them. They just came prepared.
Yeah, I'm hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, pretty much. They had one guy that took carry out.
There is no signal inside.
That might be their
That was probably made by inmates. Molding shop. Wait, how did they get up there? Ah. That's not big.
Yeah, I don't think she, I don't know, I just don't feel like she's about it. Hey.
That's
Me personally, I feel like I'm on medical care up in the psych ward and infirmary, which actually will be up there after this, but. Yes, we will.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna step up there and have a sit.
What was that?
yeah, any better.
Definitely a couple degrees warmer in here.
I feel like I look like a tomato. Like my face is real flushed.
Probably all do.
Ever been in a sauna before? Today's the first day. Yeah.
Get everyone with us in a second. Which in the meantime, welcome to the medical unit of the prison, also known as the medical sauna unit.
Sauna's right.
Yep.
No hot stones needed for up here. You can enjoy the Pepto-Bismol pink we have up here in the meantime as well. You know, they thought that would like calm the inmates down. They thought it'd be like calming color, like green or blue, which in here is probably more of a stressful color for them. And what other place to put a collar like that than none other than the psych ward, you know? Just a tad, just a smidge. So this is the SPU Special Program Unit. Officers and inmates called this Fantasy Island. This was a psych ward. Most of the guys in here were self-mutilators, cutters, suicidal guys. They had one guy in here one day decided he was leaving. I'm leaving this place today. I'm leaving this place today. I'm leaving this place today. He had a life sentence. They said, no, buddy, you're going to be here for a while. I'm leaving this place today. I'm leaving this place today. He was just in a broken record, like a loop. Finally, I'm leaving this place today. So they got tired of hearing it. Well, how do you plan on doing that? He said like this, and without hesitation, that inmate reached down. He grabbed 2 pencils and shoved them into his eyes, and then flipped them forward and actually ripped his eyeballs out of his face. Now, he survived that. He was right, because he left this place that day, and he was sent down to the state hospital. It used to be in Weston, Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. He is still alive. That guy's still alive. Still alive. Believe it or not. He's at a place called Sharps. It's the new hospital that replaced Weston. Oh yeah, he's a little different, I guess. All right, through this door back is the infirmary. You're more than welcome to look in these rooms as we go along. Any medical equipment you see left behind is all original from the early 70s. They put this entire floor in 1972. The paintings in the hallways of the infirmary were done by Danny Lehman. Now, he was the Avenger leader. They were a biker gang. He was actually murdered in November of 1986 down in North Hall by the Aryan Brotherhood. Well, Danny had a crush on a nurse who worked up here on the medical unit named Trish, so that gave him more time around his favorite nurse to paint the images. So that's probably the real reason, the real motive as to why he painted up here. So we'll be up here for a couple few minutes, take some time, look around the rooms, and hear a little bit. I'll shout when you hear me shout, and we'll get ready to head back downstairs, go to the hole, and cool off for a little bit.
Sounds like a plan.
Everyone doing all right with the heat? Everyone okay? You don't want anyone passing out on us?
Just a little wet.
So far, so good.
We already had someone locked in a cell, so I'd rather not have anyone pass out on top of that. That would.
Oh no.
Gynecologist tables in there? X-ray.
Right.
Dentist office. Hydrotherapy. Operating room. OR.
This is the OR. But the people in there.
Well, it's a clean room. Look at it. Tile all the way to the ceiling. Instruments, plenty of receptacles. Yeah, this is definitely an OR. Lighting all the way around. Where'd our guy go? Huh? Some more rooms in there.
No visitors, no smoking beyond this point.
We'll be going down these steps. Sorry.
And it's also our bat cage, which right now shouldn't have to worry about. They should be tucked away for a while. But rest assured, tonight they'll be. Last night I was here until 4 doing a night tour. Last night, oh my gosh, there was a couple of them flying around the whole, couple in the sugar shack. We actually had 2 of them up in the medical flying around, and people were, doing all that. I think it's funny because anymore I just love them. Actually, one of our other tour guides, Lori, she's a ghost guide. She was in North Hall one night before she brought the group in. She was turning breakers off. She was on the phone with her husband. She turns around briefly, and her mouth was still open. She was mid-sentence. A bat flew straight in her mouth. Oh. Yeah. She had to get 6 sessions of rabies shots, so I always pick on her and call her Ozzy. And I'm like, Lori, now Ozzy said that the bat tasted like salt. What did it taste like for you? It was furry. Huh? All right, so we got everybody. We'll get ready. This right here is the hole. The hole was, until the 1950s, used as solitary confinement. Now, you won't find any cells down there. It was more of a dungeon-style setting. They shackled the inmates to the walls by the wrists, left them more or less standing up like that for a few days, sometimes over a month at a time. Bring them a little bit of bread, a little bit of water each day. The 2 doors were always kept closed and locked, so even in daylight, it's pitch dark in there. Now, it's basically like living in a cave for a month. You can imagine if they weren't crazy on day 1 after having roaches, everything crawl over their face, the least they can do is shake. They can't swat them off. They would be crazy. Now, when they finished the new end of the prison, the south end, that was the Great Depression era side, they moved solitary out of the hole into a basement into a room on the new basement. So then they repurposed the hole into a maintenance area, boiler room. They cleaned it up pretty drastically, and they installed lights in there. Now, they had a very trusted inmate who practically lived down there. His name was R.D. Wall, Robert Daniel Wall. He was serving a life sentence out of Logan County. He would cut the grass, take care of the boilers down there, maintain the hall, the area itself. He had a reputation as being the warden's favorite snitch. October 8th of 1979, around midnight, 6 inmates. I don't know how they managed to do this. 6 inmates gained access down into the hole. They went into R.D.'s room, where at the time he was on the commode. They pulled him off the commode. They began cutting the tips of his fingers off, trying to torture him. They eventually decapitated him down there. Now, R.D., like a lot of the guys that passed here, especially more tragically, we do believe is here in spirit. We believe he's a friendlier ghost. So usually things that happen in the hole, we believe is his way of telling you, hey, I'm here with you. Cold spots have been experienced down there, colder than the ambient air around you. He likes to touch people. Guys, usually on the arm or your side. Ladies, he'll run a finger across the back of your neck, play with your hair. Battery drain of cameras, flashlights, electronics, as well as malfunctions of electronics is very commonly reported down here. I wish I had just a nickel for every time I took groups down here.
Say my camera hasn't been working all day.
Well, that's, because numerous times, people usually smartphones, will either freeze up, they'll die after a full battery, they'll start taking rapid fire shots. They're like, I don't know what it's doing. I hope for y'all's sake that doesn't happen to you, but if it does, I'll apologize on behalf of RD. So, basically when you go in, you go all the way back to the back, in the room on the left is RD's room. I'm going to let y'all go in there and look around for a few minutes. I'll be out here within earshot if you need anything. Then in a few minutes, I'll be in. We'll go back into the blue building and get some AC.
All the way back and to the left. R.D. Wall's room is back here. to the left. All the way to the back and to the left. Why is it sealed up? Back and to the left. Back and to the left.
Right here.
Is this the room? Yeah. Yep, this would be it. Is that wet? No.
Nope, we're good. I was thinking there was too.
This is the underside of one of the gun turret towers in the basement. Just mud. I'm sliding in mud. Chunky mud over there.
Kind of good like a corn, so I might do that.
Don't anybody trip over this pipe.
Watch out for this spike in the
Watch
property.
this pipe right in front of you.
Is it a fly trap? There is poles on the ground, but without a flashlight, you can't see them.
Just feel them.
Feel better in the dark, it's much better. Yeah, there it is, Todd. Where'd Taylor go? Okay,
Right in that room, this was RD's room over in here. This was RD's room. Absolutely, that's no problem at all.
What was that little round kind of a room at the back? Was that like where he was?
That was actually, yes, that was where the bathroom was. And that's where the attack initially happened when he had it. Yeah, they didn't come down before I and he had to turn back.
Okay guys, so that is it for the Paracon. We just got done with the tour. We're gonna go back, ice down a cooler, go back to Anaki's hotel, maybe jump in the pool for a little bit. We gotta be back here at 9:30 to meet up. We're gonna be doing a lock-in tonight, so stay tuned for that in the next video. Okay, bonus content video. This is what they call the wagon gate. This is a part of the penitentiary where back in the day, before the electric chair, this is where inmates are put to death by hanging. And that would be the gallows right there.
Oh my, cool.
And that's what they call the wagon gate. That's your bonus content. So live from the West Virginia State Penitentiary, Paracon, it's your boy, Ghost Mafia, Nero Trigger, Lady Swan, Anaheim, Colorado Explorers, and
So
We'll see you tonight. Later on.